welcome to the NRAP Daily right here on the Nashville State Post. Today I have with me a special guest. This is Michelle Berman. She's the owner of Berman Media, and she has a Instagram course that she offers, which is called Instagram Power Method is what it's called. And so before we get into what the course offers, I just want to ask you this question, Michelle, and that is, why Instagram? Why should we be concerned about Instagram at all? I mean, what's the deal? How come you've devoted basically a career to Instagram? Why Instagram?
Yeah, well, first off, thanks for having me, Frank. I'm excited to be here, and I'm excited to get to hopefully sprinkle some knowledge on all of you guys. But to answer your question, why Instagram? And I love this question because I think that it's something, there's kind of like the dumbed down, yes, Instagram is where all of the millennials and the Gen Zs are, and oh, that's great. But I want to take it one step further and say, like, why Instagram? And the reason why I choose Instagram and the reason I've spent the last 6 years of my life really devoted to using this platform and crushing it here is that, one, it's all based off of client attraction. The methodology and the framework of Instagram is designed to capture eyeballs, add value, and then get them to stick. So one of the things for me that I love about Instagram is it has so many different avenues for people to kind of, how would I say this best? Like, just get lost and squirrel brained into all of these things on Instagram. And the reason I say that is psychology tells us that Gen Z, especially the generation underneath me, and the younger millennials, the way that they consume information is so much different than our older generations, because when they start to figure out something that they're interested in, they will go to any length to get as much information as possible about it. And I love Instagram for this fact because it has the ability to allow someone to become an expert or somebody who can dive so far into one topic, whether they're following Instagram pages, whether they're following other blogs that are on Instagram, other like professionals, so they can follow along their stories about this expert topic that this individual might be interested in. And so with that being said, specifically related to the real estate world for me, Instagram is also a platform where there are so many agents who are using it improperly that it's really not hard to fix. But a lot of the times the agents who are using it don't understand the true power of client attraction. And I think, Frank, I know you could attest to what we have gone through in 2020, and those agents who have been able to pivot and utilize platforms like Instagram, their business hasn't slowed down. If anything, their business is better and busier. I mean, I talked to an agent this morning who said his business just in the last 4 months has 4 times than it was before COVID. And he got his first Instagram lead in April. They closed last week. And he couldn't have done it without a platform because it was all done virtually. It was a guy from out of state that found him on this platform who wasn't able to travel here and just trusted this agent to do the work. So again, to answer your question in totality, I mean, Instagram offers so much connection that we can't get on other platforms in this fashion, really.
What would you say is, because you did say that so many agents and professionals aren't using it properly. Yeah. What would you say is a simple thing you can point out? I know there's probably a lot of things that are not being done right, but what's probably like a real common thing that you would say, for example, this isn't working for you, and this isn't helping you in any way? What might something like that be?
Yeah, so there's so many of them, but I think what I'll focus on is the one that I always use as like the core example, and it's the type of content you're producing. A lot of agents, the mistake they're making is they're producing content that is designed for the general public, and they're not actually speaking to an individual. They're not speaking to their target audience, and they're using content, like flyers from their LOs or from their vendor partners. And those flyers, they're literally taking a screenshot or posting the PDF of it. And the problem with that is that type of content is designed to be handed to an individual in person, at an open house or at an event or something. That kind of content is not meant to be used on this platform because Instagram is designed as a photo or image grabber. And then the rest of the work is done through our caption, and conversion happens there. But that being the biggest thing that they could fix is get away from posting cookie cutter content. Stop calling everything a home buyer tip or a seller tip or this very common phrasing that every other agent is using. And you have to ask yourself as an agent, if you're producing content, and another agent, like let's say I'm a real estate agent and I'm following you, Frank, as another real estate agent. If I were to see a new listing of yours that said new listing as the caption, would I stop and would I read that? And the answer to me from one agent to the other would be no, right? I've seen that 100 other times in 100 other places. So you could have had the world's best caption in the world, but your opening sentence said new listing, so I'm not even going to read it. So they're just making the mistake of producing content that everybody else is producing and not speaking directly to your audience. And most of that happens, or most of that occurs, because they don't even really know who they want to be speaking to or who they should be speaking to on the platform.
So it sounds like there's a lot to navigate as far as trying to do this in a proper way, because I mean, everything you're saying is like, those are all the things that I thought you should do just right off the bat, just so you know. It's like, oh, that's how, that must be how you do it. And clearly you're saying it's not. So just real briefly, tell us a little bit about your training on that. What can an agent expect? I mean, we're going to put the link to it right down below. So just so you're watching, guys, if you already know, man, I'd like to learn more about this and learn how to do Instagram better and do it more correctly. There's a link right down below. You can click it and kind of go down this path with Michelle. But if they do dive into having you coach them through this, kind of what are they, like, how long is it? What are they, is it online? Is it, one-on-one? What do they get? What should they expect?
Yeah, so the Instagram Power Method is the name of the course that I've developed. And before I get into like the nitty gritty of like what can they expect as far as the modules and all of that, the framework of the Instagram Power Method is designed for 3 big things. The first is to help you identify as an agent, who are you, what do you specialize in, and how to actually speak to that audience correctly. So that's the big thing. That's part number 1, right? Is we go through this various assignments or homework assignments, if you will, or projects, I like to call them. But basically, ways for you to go through what I call the value series funnel of who am I, what's my niche, who do I actually specialize in serving, and then my target audience, aka out of, like, let's say I'm a new build specialist, who are my ideal types of clients that would be buying new builds. And we all know as agents that there's a boatload of different types of people that buy new builds. And a lot of them are very, very different. We have our downsizers, right? Our empty nesters who want out of their big house. They want a cookie cutter, very, clean, turnkey house. They don't have to deal with anything. They don't want to have to worry about mowing the lawn. But then on the flip side of it, you also get the young entrepreneur, or your single person, or your person who is working 15 hours a day and doesn't want to have to come home and mow their lawn. Totally different age groups, totally different pain points. So the first piece of it is getting them from what my niche is, who's my target audience, aka who do I actually serve within my niche, and then turning that into solving pain points, which is how we create content. So that's the first piece to the course. The second big thing is the psychology of engagement and client attraction, and the difference between here's what you should be doing on your content, and then here's as far as hashtags and other things. And then here's how you can actually reach and generate new eyeballs for your content, because they're totally different. The methods, the strategy to the 2 of those, totally different, because the types of people we want consuming our content are not the same type of people who we're going to be attracting through our different strategies and mechanisms. So there's 2 different pieces there. And then the course wraps up with automation and being able to not have to camp out on Instagram all day, because nobody's got time for that. Right? But being able to have a system in place that involves a content calendar that allows them to structure their content in a way that delivers really high value, allows for fluidity, right? So that spontaneous, oh, I took this really great picture yesterday, I want to use that. They still have the ability to do that and then some. And on top of it, being able to say, okay, I have my entire week planned out. So all I have to do for the next 7 days between today and the following Tuesday, because today's Tuesday, right? So let's say I scheduled 7 days out from today to next Tuesday. Then between that now and then, all I have to do for the next 7 days is respond to comments and send a couple people some DMs strategically, and that's it. The rest of the week, I get to just focus on selling real estate and doing what I do. Instagram is something that a lot of agents stay away from because they feel like it's like a full-time job, very time consuming. And so the course, the way that I've developed it is to allow you guys to truly do what you love, sell real estate, be really good at it, but also attract a ton of new eyeballs so that your pipeline is never empty. And the way to answer your question, in totality, the course itself is an online program, so you can take it as fast or slow as you want. You'll have access to the program for life. It's an online portal with videos and course modules, and it's not your standard course. It's not your Instagram 101. It's designed to really dive very deep into the attraction model of generating leads that come to you that want to work with you. You don't have to sell them at all. So
let me ask you this: is this the kind of thing that let's say you've got a good agent, someone who's getting 15, 20 listings a year, something like that, doing well, but really wants to, of course, get bigger, do better. They have an assistant or two. Is this the kind of thing that they can have their assistant work for them?
Yes, absolutely. So that happens all the time, almost daily for me. Is agents will join our program and they have their assistant go through the modules, and then they meet once a week or once every 2 weeks with their assistant to make sure that that individual is able to implement things correctly. They can go over strategy, they can go over value series topics and things. But truthfully, most agents, they don't want to have to do it, right? They want to pay somebody else to do it. But if they're already paying an assistant and that person is somebody who is managing that for them, I will tell you that that is definitely the best route to go, especially because through that process, they're going to get coaching from my team and I, and they're not going to have to pay for what I call, the VIP, we do it all for you type.
So I was just going to go there. So there is a VIP, we do it all for you approach to this as well?
Yes, there is. So we have a VIP program that we allow people to join. Right now we're actually full, but we do have a wait list. So if somebody wants to get on that wait list, they're more than welcome to email me and we can do that. But in the VIP program, my entire team, I have 2 full-time assistants with me. They do everything. They handle all the content development, all your value series development, all your brand engagement, story content, all of it. So that VIP program is something that we only open to a select few. You do have to get interviewed by us to be accepted into that. So it's one of those things. It's a very elite crew that gets to be part of that because, as you know, it's a ton of work. So it's something that we don't do frequently. Or I shouldn't say we don't do frequently, but we don't allow just anyone into.
Yeah, it's interesting. We just went down that path with our Listing Booster product, the same exact principles, et cetera. But well, anyway, awesome stuff, Michelle. I really appreciate it. And for everybody, for you guys that are watching, if this has ever piqued your interest at all, if Instagram is something that maybe you're dabbling with, and maybe it's even something that you enjoy, but you want to find a way to really put this into gear and make it something that can actually generate you some business. Maybe you want to check out Michelle's class. Again, there is a link right down below. Just scroll down, you see it'll say click here to check out Michelle's class, and you just click that and it'll bring you to a page. You can start figuring out if you want to engage with Michelle directly on this and maybe dive into the course. We'll also be sending out an email, guys, to everybody, just so you know, with more information on Michelle and her course. You should be seeing that in the next 24 to 48 hours as well. So you'll be able to do that. And we'll probably on that email offer a webinar where we'll have Michelle on the webinar, and she can actually dive into the course a little bit to give you a little bit bigger picture as to what's inside, to see if you really want to go ahead and jump in and get this thing going. So with that, Michelle, I got to tell you, thanks so much, and appreciate you being here.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. I'm looking forward to the webinar. We'll have some fun with it. Yeah, we will.
It'll be a good time. So guys, and please forward this, share with somebody who, you think might be interested in the Instagram product that Michelle has here. Maybe your office manager or your broker owner or whatever the case may be, because I know she can handle pretty much anything from individuals to companies, everything. So with that, we'll go ahead and sign off. Again, appreciate you being here. You guys do us a favor, leave your comments down below, forward, share, and subscribe. We'll catch you later here at the NREP Daily on the National Real Estate Post.